Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to talk about the Elephecurus. It's pretty close. That was pretty close. We're going to talk about the current raid going on in Global. I'm going to show you a couple of duo teams that I've been using, as well as pretty important tips, I think, for those duo teams to work. And really, I want to talk about why I like this raid more than I've liked a lot of raids in the past. And I think if raids are heading in this direction, it's a good direction, and I hope it's not just a one-off. Anyway, check out your girl on the screen right here. By the way, Oldoa carries this raid super hard. So a couple things first. One thing I want to shout out, a little tip, and it's something that I hope the developers listen to this and change this forever, is we have unlimited gil chamber right now, and we have double book reward chamber. This is so awesome for raids. So double book rewards, this has been my go-to when I just want to set it on auto, walk away for like 10 minutes, come back and have 10 raids spawned. You can throw together like whatever kind of teams, it's an easy fight, but the rewards from this fight are really, really good. So I've been doing this a lot on auto, and then when I'm manually just collecting raid spawns, we have unlimited gil chamber this week. So guys, if you're looking to use some skips and you have event skip tickets, one skip on a gil chamber is worth 24 energy. It takes 20 energy to guaranteed spawn a raid, so you can get a raid every time you skip one of these rooms, and you're not just getting like random garbage from skipping like story missions or something like that. You're getting gil, which is something you just need all the time. So this has been the quickest way that I've been spawning raids, and I feel really good about farming up some gil while I'm raiding. So those are both things that I hope stay a part of raiding in the future. Really nice quality of life right there. I'm not going to call it a quality of life change because I don't know if it is a change or not yet, but developers, if you are listening, great job with that. Okay, now let's talk about the raid itself a little bit. I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to go ahead and start running a fight with some of my duo teams that are clearing this, and I'm going to start with an Oldoa team. Guys, like Oldoa is super valuable for this raid. So let's watch this fight play out while I talk about it. And I'm going to start by talking just a little about why I kind of like this. Normally, like I do a raid preview video and I'm kind of like, yeah, look, it's weak to this and it's this element, whatever. And I kind of assume that like I'll be able to just throw whatever the newest unit in the game is at it with bells on, and they'll just go out there and beat it. I mean, heck, Yuna and King Mont could solo their respective raids. That's a healer and a tank. So I was like, look, Joom, surely she'll be able to do it too. And she can't. Joom cannot solo this, although I will say, of the units I've tried to solo this with, she has come the closest, but she just doesn't have the damage. She can't just beat this thing by herself. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, maybe somebody who's like smarter than me out there in the world has soloed this with somebody, and I'm talking about on auto, by the way. This is all based on auto. I'm not sitting here trying to manual play the game for like 12 hours. But on auto, I have not found anybody who could do it. Joom's a really good unit for this raid, but she can't solo it, which forces me to either build a group of 4 or a very well-tuned group of 2. And I think that's a good place for raids to be. If you want the maximum return for your time, which is going to be, doing it in a singles group, like 4 singles, where normally you'd be soloing it with one person, you're going to need friends. And I've had a really fun time, like this last night, for example, hanging out on some streams. I was just in a comedian Edward stream, and he was hosting rooms for he's been online for 25 or 26 hours, hosting solo run rooms for this. That's awesome. And that's what I think raids should be. We're just not used to that. We're used to raids being this thing that we just solo with our newest unit and it's like no big deal. I prefer having a group. In fact, like this run that you're seeing from my Joom and Oldoa, this is like the worst run I've had with this duo all night. We only had 3 turns left and Oldoa died. So RNG kind of went against me right there, but I had to fine tune this team so much that it worked. Okay, so that's kind of my thought. Like, I like the raid being harder. I think it should truly be in-game content. Now, I will go ahead and show you the setup for the duos that I've been using. And I'll start with the one you just saw. That is, by the way, my best duo. And of course, when I'm recording the video, they do their worst run, because that's how it works. But if RNG doesn't go against me, they'll clear that with 5 or 6 turns left. And Oldoa is fantastic at it. So let me show you how I got this set up. First of all, with Joom, the important moves for her are Storm, Wind, Rend. This might be, she has 2 really important moves. This is one of them, because the big AoE will kill all the adds. And if you saw, like when the fight started, Oldoa LB'd the boss, and then Joom Storm, Wind, Rended all 3 units. So it did big time damage to the boss and killed both the adds, so they're out of the way. Also, Air Incisor. This is a really important one. It has 6 uses. You want to leave this on. It lowers the unit's single target resist. All of Oldoa's attacks against it are going to be single target attacks on my team until she runs out and has to use like Human Cleaver, Viking move later, if I have that on. But yeah, so this is really important for getting more damage on the boss. Then like the rest of this stuff, I pretty much just turn it off. That's the setup for Joom. It's really easy. I also leave Stunblade on. Now the AI will use Stunblade, even though it says small damage. If she's going to hit for like maximum damage, the AI will go ahead and throw Stunblade out there. And you can land some really like clutch stuns on the boss, which I bet I didn't in that run that was just playing. That will, it'll skip a turn, it saves you some damage, and this boss is a beast. So I really like Stunblade. That's the only other move that I have on for Joom. And then I have her run Lucio's TMR maxed out at level 20. I have that turned on. I have her limit break off, and that's it. That's Joom's setup, and she is really important if you want to duo this thing. Like, she's super clutch. The agility down, the single target resist down, that's really great. For Oldoa, let me show you. I have her on Assassin, Viking Lore Self-Sacrifice, Counter Slash, Bells is on, and I have her limit break at level 15. I actually ran out of pots, but it's really big to get a defense debuff on the boss. With this, she has access to this defense debuff, and sometimes it'll play out where with her assassin job, she can actually get behind the boss and hit it with Marauder's Blade. For some reason or another, the boss will just do different things sometimes, and sometimes it'll look at Joom, which will let Oldoa go reapply a defense debuff with this. Sometimes he'll just attack Oldoa the whole time. I don't know. Like, literally, I don't change anything from run to run, and it does different things. Then I have Pillaging Blade on, just to give her access to another damaging attack that doesn't cost much. Oldoa with Bells, and with Marauder's Blade and Pillaging Blade and her Limit Break being the only moves that you have on, will just go out there and do work. And you just saw it happen right there. I want to shout out a couple pieces of gear as well. The Elf Cloak +5 has confusion resistance on it. This boss can do confusion attacks. If you want to resist confusion and you want some defense and HP, I really like the Elf Cloak. If you don't care about the defense and HP, but you still want some confusion resist, but a little more damage, White Marshmallow Miniature has 15 crit on it. The AIM version does, at least. So this will help my Joom crit a little more. So I like to run those 2 pieces of gear with my AP regeneration. I also want to shout out Tetrasilphid. This gives you damage limit up really big. This is a huge deal for this fight, and it has good stats for a physical attacker and gives wind attack up. And then I've been running Gift Like No Other, attack plus 50% to my wind units with crit rate up and max HP. Really like this one. I think you could switch this for like maybe Golden Ahriman if you had that. You could probably even run Ifrit if you wanted to with this setup. Okay, let me show you my other team that's been doing this and kind of talk you through the in-game fight a little bit and why placement is so important. So let's jump in here. I'm going to do what I call my brute force duo. That is Varush and Joom. So Varush and Joom, there's not a whole lot special going on with this one. Like, literally, I'm just leaving Varush's better attacks on. I don't have his limit break on. I want him to save that amount of AP. But Joom set up the exact same way as before. Varush just has his good moves on. And watch how this plays out early, and I'll kind of tell you why I put Varush in slot 1. So your slot 1 unit will go forward and right after casting Bells. Then your slot 2 unit will cast their TMR and walk forward. You want that to be Joom. First of all, it means she will tank the first 2 hazard breaks from these bosses, or from those adds. The boss will come and hit Varush for a little bit, no big deal. Then he will turn around and start hitting the boss. Make sure you don't have his like big ranged moves on. He has a couple where he could hit those adds. Those are the ones you want to turn off. I can go into that a little bit more. And then Joom, just like in the Oldoa fight, will take care of the 2 adds while hitting the boss at the same time. And then literally, it's just on. These units are just going to stand here and unload on the boss until it dies. Like, Varush being a newer unit, Joom being the newest unit in the game, I feel like these two just have big enough stat pools that if you have good Espers, vision cards, and gear, they can run out here and just brute force the boss down. I'm really not doing anything special. The only debuffs I'm putting on the boss is the unit attack resist down. A lot of Varush's moves are AoE anyway. He's a magic unit, so he's not even getting the bonuses, like the bonus attack from Joom's vision card. He doesn't care about it at all. And I have him running Tetrasilphid for the wind attack. The stats on that vision card suck for him, but the dude's a beast. He comes out here and just puts in work against this boss. Like, just walks out here, breaking his bravery. Let me turn auto off. I want to look at what the boss's bravery actually is. So, like, I'm going to pick a move here. Let's do Magic Barret Buster or whatever. This will kill him. The boss's bravery is at 40 right now. Like, I've debuffed his bravery by 40. That's pretty funny. I've heard that you can turn this thing into a chicken with like whispers. So probably like Whisper plus Varush could chicken this thing. If I had the pots to like invest in Whisper's limit break, I might do that just for fun. But anyway, this group works great and it's super simple, right? Like, you just set that up and let them go. I will go ahead and show you what I have on and off for Varush real quick, just in case you want to copy that build. And then I'll show you one more trick you can do that will, help you get off to a good start. So for Varush, we've got in his main job, Counterman Slash is off. This will keep him from killing some of those adds. Bamboo Splitter on. I like the CT up and the large damage there. Barriers off. Magic Buster I leave on. Cheap AP move. Single target. I like that a lot. Sword Formation's off. Spirit Stealer is on. He barely uses it though. Honestly, I just leave it on because it doesn't matter. And then in his sub job, Slate Wiper, make sure you turn this one off. Way too long of range. He'll hit adds with it. Brave Breaker, I turn on. This is what was lowering his bravery. And that's it. Then, obviously bells on, limit break off. So that is that setup. Now, I want to jump into the fight one more time. And I'm going to use the duo that I've heard the most buzz around, which is Joom and 2B. It's also the one that I have struggled with the most. Here's my setup with Joom and 2B. And this is the one that I don't win on every time. Those first 2 comps that you saw, 100% win rate. They've never lost. This one loses about 50% of the time. However, I'm going to run Joom in slot 1 on this one and 2B in slot 2. Now, before we go into it, for 2B, the important moves for her are her limit break and her Phasal Slash, the 2-hit move. And then you need to leave like one smaller damage move on for later, so after she runs out of moves, she has something to do at the end of the fight to finish off the boss. Now watch this trick. If you put your DPS unit in slot 2, they will pop bells and run forward, and then Joom will pop her region and run off to the right. Now, this will trigger the adds onto 2B, and notice how this add moves into 2B's auto attack range. That's a big deal because it's going to help 2B save up some AP to burn through this boss. She'll run over and just execute him with an attack, which doesn't cost any AP, and in fact gains her a significant amount of AP, then Stormwind Rend from Joom, and now we're off to the races. Now this is just a normal fight like all the rest of them. 2B will use her limit break right here just to kick things off. This gives her a little buff, the slash resist penetration up. I don't know if that actually does anything or not, but then you crucially get the unit attack resist down and then the double hit. Now, it's a big deal. I'm going to just predict something right here. That neither of 2B's double hits crit right there is a really bad sign for this run. That is the single biggest attack I will do in this fight because it's the 3rd in a row and it's a double hitter. When that attack hasn't crit, RNG's not on my side and it's going kind of sideways. And this is the one team comp for me where I will lose sometimes. So let's see. It'll be close either way. Let's see what the boss does. He's going to keep unloading. Luckily, whenever he does his confusion attack, I'm running the anti-confusion gear, so we're safe from that. Okay, 7 turns left. The boss has 6 turns left. The boss has 38k HP basically. 2B is now out of her double attack, so she's into Whirling Vortex. She gets hit with the counterattack. Joom's out of AP, so she's auto-attacking. And you can see how this gets hairy. 27.5. We're going to do a summon. This will save 2B a little bit of AP. Pulling out the Odin. I'm telling you, we're going to lose by like an auto-attack. Not critting on those early ones was a bad deal. Okay. I think I need to switch 2B in this to maybe the hat with the confusion resist that gives her more crit. Okay, big attack right here. She didn't have enough AP to do her move. Okay, hold on. Last turn. Here it comes. It's 2B with the execute. No! Oh, like I said, the boss lived with a sliver of HP. This guy's a beast. So there you go. There's my duo teams that I've been using. I've tried a lot. If you were with me on stream, I tried a lot of like other element duos, including one that I used Dwayne and Ruinstern, and they got run over by this guy, which I thought was crazy. So there we go. I'm having a lot of fun with this raid. I hope this video is helpful, or just hope maybe you enjoyed the insight about the raids. I don't know. Leave me some comments. Let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.